I'm gonna share presentation here, kind of a walkthrough, and then at the end I'll have kind of time for questions as well, and then we'll be here after also if you want to chat further. But yeah, to introduce myself quickly, so I work specifically on the jewelry team here, as he was saying. And I specifically work with businesses as they get set up on our platform to help make sure they're seeing success, and then help them as they grow in the beginning of their Whatnot journey so that they can build it into something sustainable for their business long term. I've worked here for over 2 years and have worked on a wide range of categories, so have helped a lot of businesses get started on the platform. So I'll be walking through the presentation today, and then Andy, Misha, and Alan, sorry, didn't put him up there, but we're all also here for after if you want to chat, and they also work on our fashion team here at Whatnot. Whatnot is a live shopping app, and not sure how familiar you guys are with the live shopping space, but it's definitely been transforming the way that everyone is buying and selling on the internet these days. It's already an 800 billion market in China and accounts for 20% of their e-commerce sales, and has 200 billion potential in the US and is growing 4 times as fast as traditional e-commerce. We're definitely picking up the trend that's coming over from there, and we've been seeing a ton of success with our platform. And then some stats specific to Whatnot. When it comes to our buyers on Whatnot, our average buyer we see purchases more than 12 items a week on the platform and make 10 times more transactions and spend around 4.5 times more compared to other marketplaces. And our month-to-month retention on Whatnot is around 62%. So our buyers are very engaged, and a lot of times they're making a lot of purchases on the app. As you get started and as you start selling, you'll pretty much see like the same names in your shows, and you'll kind of realize that people are very, committed. It's a very community-driven platform. And then on the seller side, our top Whatnot sellers have each earned over $1 million just specifically through our platform. We see that our sellers sell 9 times more than sellers on other marketplaces, and over 2 million hours of live streams are watched on Whatnot every week. So anytime you go on the app, you'll see hundreds, thousands of Whatnot shows happening at one time, and it's exclusively dedicated for buying. So people are on there not necessarily to just scroll. That's part of it. Part of it is entertainment, right? But it's a buying platform first and foremost. So people already have their cards loaded in, like they're in a show because they want to shop, not just like, I don't know, sometimes you'll see on TikTok people just kind of scroll for entertainment, but that's kind of a big difference that we see through Whatnot. There's never been a better time to be a Whatnot seller. This year, our signups on the buyer side are up 400% since last year. We've been #1 in the shopping apps in the App Store, and then we've been in the top 10 overall free apps on the App Store for the past few months. So lots of people are finding out about us, and it's a great time to kind of take advantage of that growth that we're seeing. Because of that, our team has put a lot of backing behind making sure that new businesses and sellers that join the platform are getting visibility into these new buyers that are coming on, and promoting your show so that you can take advantage of that growth. And then we have a very large team that is dedicated to always making sure that our app is constantly being updated with features that make it easy for sellers and also buyers. And then when it comes to jewelry on Whatnot, our top jewelry sellers are doing 7 figures per month in sales. New sellers that I personally work with have done around 80K in sales in just their first month on the platform. It's an auction-based kind of platform, so it's live shopping, but then majority of sales happen through auctions. So you show something, you'll set a timer for how long you want it to run for, and then people are bidding on it in real time. So because of that, depending on how fast you want to move and what kind of product you have, it's possible to sell up to like 90 pieces per hour, just depending on how quick you run the auctions. And yeah, our top jewelry sellers have hundreds of viewers watching their shows ready to buy. This screenshot I just put in from like literally 8 a.m. this morning, and you can see like our people have over 100 people in their shows around 8 a.m. So we have subcategories within the jewelry category. So these are a breakdown of all of the categories that we have. When you schedule a show, you would assign it to the category that you're selling in so that it's showing up to the right buyers who are looking for that product. Assuming a lot of you guys will be in the fine and precious metal space here. Just to show you an example of like some of our top sellers in the jewelry category, all of these sellers, so Jay's Jewels, they have over 300,000 followers on our platform and have sold over almost 600,000 items. AXNT, over 100,000 followers, have sold around 75,000 items. And then Maya Miller Jewelry, almost 150K followers, and have sold over 100,000 items. And all of these sellers, like, they don't have much social presence outside of Whatnot before they came on. This was all built exclusively through our platform. So there's a lot of opportunity here. I know a lot of times, like, some of the questions I get are like, how would I get people into my shows if, like, I don't have a following outside of Whatnot? And that's not something that you need to have to see success on our platform. So breakdown of selling on Whatnot and kind of what it looks like. So like I mentioned, we have the main format that you'll see if you join a show is going to be live auctions. So like I said, you would set a starting price, you would set the time of the auction, and then you would start it, and people in your show, you'll see are bidding on the item in real time there. We also have a buy it now format where you can load things in for set prices. So people usually do this with some of their higher end pieces, and then people might request to see them, and then you could show them in a live show. With the buy it now format, what you can do is you can also decide, okay, I have like a lot of quantities of this one SKU. I'm gonna offer a 30% discount on this item for like 1 minute, and everyone that's in here right now can get that discount. So that works really well when you have a lot of quantities of the same SKU. If you go into a show, you'll see people doing giveaways frequently. It's just a great way, like I said, it's a very community-focused platform, so it's a great way to engage the buyers in your stream and kind of offer something exciting for them to join. You don't have to give away something crazy. It could be literally anything, but we have a function where you can start a giveaway, and then everyone that follows that giveaway in that show has to follow you in order to enter, and it will automatically follow you for them. So it's a great way to just like gain a following on there quickly and kind of get engagement in your shows. And then we also have a marketplace component where you can list things on your account when you're not live. If someone, saw something in your show and decided they wanted to buy it later, you could put it in there as well. So like I said, auctions are the most popular format on our platform. You would list something with a starting bid. You decide what starts at. So a lot of times with higher end jewelry, you can start it higher, but you will see on the platform some people start things for as low as $1. You have the ability to decide how long it runs for. And it's great for keeping people engaged because people like to see like quick action and feel like they're getting a deal on something. This is just a quick video I took. Let's see. Oh, it's playing for my computer, so I don't know how well you'll be able to hear it, but it'll just give you an idea of what it looks like. So they're showing an item, and then they would decide, in here they're starting it at $1, and it's running for 10 seconds, and then you can see like people are bidding it up in real time right there. It ends, and that person's won the item. Like, the payment is automatically processed through our platform. So once someone wins, or anytime someone's bidding on an item, it's always binding. So whoever wins, has to buy that item, and it automatically goes through. So in order to bid, they would have to have their card info loaded in. And then flash sales, like I was mentioning, are a great way to move a lot of inventory of the same SKU very quickly and offer like a discount for buyers. You have the option to decide like how much of a discount you want to offer and for how long. I'm going to show an example. This is Invicta, the watch brand, if you're familiar. They are on our platform, and this is an example of them using flash sales.
Are you ready? I'm gonna show it to you guys real quick, but you guys gotta be super quick. About to be a BBSD here. Let's go. Beautiful white band, gold dial, digital watch, water resistant. $50. Ready? Let's go. $15. Go. 20. Only 20 of them. Go, chat. Only 20. Go. Gold dial. Only 20 gold. And done. Another BB. Nice. We're all great. Shout out to BBSD.
Yeah, as you can see, like all of those things are popping up were people buying that item. So I don't know how many they sold at that time, but probably sold all of them. Okay, I'll quickly walk through what it looks like to get set up and like prepare for a show if that's something that you guys end up being interested in doing. I will preface by saying like part of my work is working individually one-on-one with the businesses that come on, so I'll connect with you guys after so that I can help you also get set up when it comes to that time. But yeah, just a kind of quick breakdown of what it looks like. You would just set up your account, load in your business information, then you would just be able to go and schedule shows. You always want to like schedule your show a little bit in advance so that you can give people time to find the show and see it. And then it's always good to have multiple shows scheduled out in advance so that when you start selling and you're in a show, you can start saying like, look at my account, I'm going to be going live maybe, every Thursday at this time. The shows are on my account, like you can save them and then they would get notified when you're live. Yeah, and then after you schedule shows, you would load in your listings directly into that show that you plan to sell. I'll walk through a little bit more about that in a second. Obviously, think about how you want to set up for the show. A lot of people just kind of view like a good background where it's showing a variety of inventory wherever they are. Some people have their face in it, some people just do, their hands and show the jewelry. So either one works really on our platform. You're also able to schedule like a private show if you wanted to, where you can actually practice it before you go live for the first time so that you get used to the flow. And some people actually use practice streams to actually connect with like their top buyers if they want to offer like exclusive discounts for them, because with a private show, if you send the link to someone, they'd be able to enter, but if they don't have the link, they can't. But you can sell things in a private show. Yeah, and then just thinking about setup, like typically for staffing, you would just have to have whoever is being like the streamer, whoever's going to be running the show. It definitely helps to have someone helping you on the side so that like whoever is in front of the camera can just be showing the items, and then someone on the side can actually run the listings and help kind of look at what people are saying in the chat and things like that. But as you get started, if you can't, that's also okay. But that's kind of where people typically build up to. And most businesses I work with eventually build up to the point where they hire someone specifically to stream on whatnot. And then space, you could really do it wherever. With jewelry, it's pretty easy because you don't really have to have your face in it all the time. It could be in an office. It could even just be at the booth downstairs if you have a nice setup there. So it's definitely not something that you have to like go crazy with there. Equipment, I mean, lighting, getting a tripod so that the phone is stationary, shipping supplies, but really there's not that much extra prep associated with it. And then, yeah, like I said, for scheduling shows, you would have a thumbnail associated with it. You would choose the category, like I was mentioning before, and then you would just set the date and the start time. You don't have to set an end time, so you can go live for as long as you want. There's no time limits. So a lot of people, if they're doing well, they just keep selling things. There's also no limits on like how many lives you can do or anything like that. So you're able to go live, sell as many things as you want, and there's no fees for like scheduling a show or loading a listing or anything. When it comes to listing items, it's super easy because you don't have to spend a lot of time listing them if you don't want to. We have flexible options. Sometimes what people will do is they'll upload, everything that they're planning to sell with a picture, the exact item, details, all of that. But most times what people do, because they're kind of more focused on just wanting to be able to spend more time in the stream rather than prep beforehand, is they'll just create like a general listing. Like this is an example I chose. They did fine jewelry. They set the quantity to probably like 900 or something. And then in the show, they just like are continuing to run that as they show different items. And then our platform, every time you run it, will number it for you. So there I just took a screenshot as they were on number 103, but it'll number it. And then what most people do is just put the number on it after it's sold so that they know afterwards what they sold and what to ship out. But yeah, it's good because you don't have to spend too much time loading every single item in beforehand if you don't want to. Cool. And then yeah, we have a ton of resources, ton of tutorials, videos that walk through everything in more detail. And then we also have a seller support team that handles like any issues of like related to specific orders or issues with the account. And then seller protections. So I know this is like kind of like a big question in jewelry, so I wanted to kind of walk through this piece. like I mentioned, all of the buyers on our platform are verified and accountable, so bids are binding and everything is final sale. So there's no returns, and you wouldn't be hit with any chargebacks if that happened on the credit card there. And then, yeah, we also, we have strict penalties for false claims or abuse from buyers. So we have a team that handles that. So if they see repeated behavior from a buyer, that would be handled with, so that you can feel confident that, the buyers in your stream are real buyers. And when it comes to condition, since it is a video, our team, if there were any claims of authenticity or misrepresented condition, our team can look back at the video and see exactly what you showed as you sold it. So you'd be covered there, as long as you obviously are being clear about materials and the condition of everything that you're selling. Like I said, we have a support team that reviews. Obviously if you did everything right there, then you would be protected on your end. When it comes to shipping, so payouts would be released when the item is delivered to the buyer. All of our shipping is done through Whatnot. So we have a partnership with USPS where the labels will automatically be generated for you after the show. So once you do generate that shipping label and then drop it off and it's scanned in, you're covered there. If something's not delivered or something happens in transit, that wouldn't be on responsibility of you there. And then insurance options are available for high value shipments if you wanted to add insurance to a delivery after the sale. And then, yeah, authenticity. So we take it very seriously. So any claims of inauthenticity when it comes to other sellers on the platform would be reviewed immediately, and action would be taken so that we can make sure we are maintaining a safe and trustworthy platform. I'll quickly kind of walk through these so that we have some time for questions at the end. Some best practices. So like I mentioned on pricing, auctions are definitely the best way to build engagement on Whatnot, but you can play around with what those start at. So you don't have to start them low. Some people can start them at 150, 500, higher, and still do it as an auction, but that's definitely what gets the best engagement. If you do have really high value items, it definitely is good to load in a little bit more details around those items beforehand. And then, yeah, visuals, like I said, just having a clear view of what you're showing, of course, and then something that shows variety in the background, so that if someone's coming into your show, they can see oh, they have all those products, and they're going to want to stay in to see what's coming next. Yeah, and then merchandising. If you do have products that, is slow moving in some areas, or maybe your margins are better where you can start them for a little lower, I typically always recommend starting with that product first so that you can get a feel for the platform and get adjusted to it. And then you can see what people are reacting best to and kind of adjust your inventory based on that. People definitely like to see a variety of options. And then of course, for sizing, just make sure you're clear when it comes to rings, chains, what the size of everything is, material, all of that. This is a common question we get, is how do we attract buyers into the stream? Like I mentioned, our buyer rate is through the roof compared to last year. So we're seeing a ton of new buyers. So that will automatically get you exposure into a new group of buyers that, maybe weren't familiar with your shop before, aren't in LA and can't come in person, right? That'll automatically happen if you're following best practices and being consistent. But some additional ways that people do is, like I said, pre-scheduling out your shows so that people can see that you're going to be a consistent seller and that you're going to have consistent shows. They'll be more likely to follow you there. Planning giveaways, like I said, are a great way to build that engagement and bring people into the show. And then if you are active on socials, you can share out obviously your show and tell people that you're going to be live on the platform. And you'll also have a referral link where you can offer them $15 off their first purchase if they've never downloaded the app before. And free shipping. It would be $15 and free shipping on their first purchase. Consistency is definitely key on the platform, as with any kind of platform. It's recommended to go live at least 2 to 3 times per week as you're getting started. But obviously, do what works best for your business and what you have capacity for. But that's what we see the most success with, is when sellers really commit to doing it consistently. Continue, the first show is not going to be perfect. So don't take that at face value. It'll take time to get adjusted and learn the platform and everything. So just being consistent, you'll see that growth very quickly. And then I always recommend doing at least an hour and a half show as you get started. So a lot of people ask about how long should I go live for? How many things should I sell? And an hour and a half is usually a good place to at least aim for at a minimum. And then how many items you sell during that will just depend on what kind of auctions you're doing, how fast you're doing it, all of that. running a high quality show kind of comes down to preparing beforehand, making sure you set aside like the product that you're thinking of running, having a good setup. Using 2 devices is typically best practice. So like usually people just use a phone for the camera and then a computer on the side where they're like running the listings from. You could be logged into the same account on the same show in multiple devices. So that's typically the best practice there. Engage with your audience. Like you'll see people coming in, you'll see they're writing things in the chat, asking questions. Make sure you engage with that, answer their questions, ask them what they want to see. Like a lot of stuff will come from that. And then yeah, the best thing to do is minimize any downtime where you're like not showing anything. People like to see something happening like all the time now. So, you know, if they jump into a show and you're kind of like off the screen trying to figure something out, they're kind of more likely to jump out quickly than if they came in and you're showing a nice piece. And then run a private stream before so that you can get used to the flow. And then we do have promote tools that you can also leverage as if you wanted to like pay to get more impressions in your shows as well. Cool. And then quickly on how post-show works. So this is a breakdown of our fees on Whatnot. So Whatnot takes an 8% commission on the purchase price, and then there's a 2.9% processing fee plus 30 cents that's taken per transaction. As part of the partnership that I'll kind of walk through at the end of this, we offer discounted fees for your first month. So that 8% would go down to 4% for your first 30 days as you're getting started and as we're working together, so that you have more flexibility as you're getting adjusted to the platform. And then shipping, like I mentioned, shipping is all through USPS through our platform. When you input a listing, there's going to be a weight associated with it, and that's what's going to calculate the shipping cost for the buyer. So when someone is bidding on an item, they can see exactly how much shipping is going to cost for them at that time. It'll automatically go through and the labels will be generated for you. And then if someone buys multiple things in your show, those would automatically get bundled together as well into the same shipment. And then the rate would be reflected based on like the combined weight of those items. But yeah, anything under 1 pound goes ground advantage and is just based on weight and address of the buyer. And then anything between 1 to 5 pounds goes through our USPS priority negotiated rate, which will be $9.21 no matter what. So typically the max anyone would ever pay on shipping would be $9.21. I will kind of just like break down what the partnership offer looks like, which is just that one-on-one support that you would get with me as you're getting started. The first piece that I mentioned is that lowered commission. So the 8% piece would go down to 4% for your first 30 days. You would have that one-on-one support from me for the business coaching for your live, and as you're getting started and have questions, you know, you have someone directly from the team to contact. That's a real person, so that definitely goes a long way as well. And then we will also have a part in being able to bring you enhanced visibility in our algorithm as you're getting started. So, you know, when you go onto the app, you'll see there's like a recommended feed that gives you shows to watch based on like your buying behavior and I don't know, past trends. And we'll essentially be able to help get you boosted in that so that you're being shown to more people as you're getting started.